So I'm out here in the garage today, out in the workshop, and I started throwing something together. And I got some of the things already cut out, and then I thought, you know what? This is something that might be good to show how I do this. So I'm going to turn this thing around here. Well, actually, I think what I can do is I'll just hold it up. I was watching some YouTube videos on some people that were refurbishing a home in Italy. So I saw this view from this mountain that they're on down into the valley with all the houses and the churches and all the stuff down in the valley. And I remembered a shot that my son had taken when he was in Ireland. And this isn't exactly it, but this is the inspiration for it. A church with a little bit of a hill in the background. And I'm going to use the knot as the sun or the moon. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. We'll see what it looks like once it's all said and done. So I've cut these pieces out already. What I'm going to do next is get them glued together so they're all one piece, and then I'm going to go ahead and carve on it. I want to carve stonework into the church itself, and then round over the tops of the mountains a little bit. Not going to touch anything in the background, but I want to kind of get things going and get it all put together so that it can be one small little piece. It can either stand up for on a shelf, or we can hang it. So let me get this thing moving. The first thing I want to do is glue this stuff all together. That's coming apart, so we're going to put a little bit in here. And then we're going to cover the back with the glue. And what I did is I cut this piece out, and then I cut the building itself out to go over top of it so it stands out from the tower in the background, the steeple. And I'm not too worried about squeeze out on this thing because I'm going to be carving on here. And once I start carving it, I'm going to just carve that glue right off. So it's going to be just fine. All right, so this is going to go here, right, like so. So I don't need glue all the way on this whole piece here. So I'm get some on here, but don't need to go all the way. And I went all the way up. Don't need to do that. All right. I guess it did go all the way up there. I guess I should put some in there. Oh no. I did it wrong. Look at that. This is the front. And I put glue on the wrong spot. Isn't that just wonderful? All right. Lucky for me, we're carving most of that off of there. Let's try this again. Let's get some glue on here. That feels better. Perfect. You'll never know. All right, so this will be fun. I'm going to clamp this. I know, I should probably get some salt to get this to stop moving around on me. It looks like what I'm going to need for this is just a regular F-clamp on that. So let me grab one of those. Lots of glue coming out everywhere. So I think that's going to be enough as far as holding this thing together. This is already pretty solid in there, amazingly. So it looks like we're completely dry here. So this is good. I did go look at a couple of photos. I wanted to see, this actually comes across like this. And this is all slate shingles here. And then our window is actually going to be here and then down here that we have to do. So that's no big deal. We didn't start cutting, so life is good. I did draw, this goes across here. Here's our windows. I have an arched doorway. This is all going to be stonework right in here. On my piece that I'm looking at, on my inspiration that I'm looking at, there is a building that fits like right in here that's connected to this. It's like part of. So I wish I would have looked at that before I started cutting all this, but Mr. Impatient didn't really go that route. So I'm going to, you know what? I'm not even going to do it. I'm going to not even do it. I'll show you the picture. You'll see it. I'll pop it up on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. But I think I'm just going to stay with this. Let's just keep it simple. So next I'm going to go ahead and round over these because they're the hills. I went ahead and made a little bit of a change on this. May not be noticeable right away, but I narrowed this building here and did make this a little bit of a steeper look to it. So now I'm going to go in and clean up that little bit of a change that I've made so I get these edges a little bit cleaner. It's not going to matter a whole lot because once I start adding in the brickwork, it's going to blend in just nicely. All right, so now it's time for some fun. I will go ahead and I'll get these windows in here. That'll be first. So let's get those drawn into place. Once I get those set back a little bit, then what I'm going to do is go ahead and start on the brickwork. And that's going to be the bulk of this. This carving is getting all of the brickwork in place. One thing I realized while I was doing this is I was looking at this tower and it didn't feel right to me. And the reason is because in the photo, it's rounded. This is a round tower with a round roof. So I'm going to go ahead and round that over and hopefully don't mess it up. I think that turned out all right. All right, let's go on to, let's start putting details in this. Really, this is the only thing really having details. The rest of this is going to kind of stay rough. And it's just going to be like a light wash of green paint here and a light wash of blue. This is going to end up being my sun right here. And let's see what we can do. All right, the tower is done. I got the slate roof and I have the stone work here. That's all done. And unfortunately, my hand is getting a little bit sore, so I'm going to stop for now, but you're not going to see that. You'll just see me start right back up here. So, but I think I got quite a bit of work done on this one today. I'm pretty happy with that. So let's move on. have all the stonework done. I have the roof done. So everything's complete. So now what I need to do is I need to go ahead and do some light sanding on this and then determine how do I want to finish this. Because it's so rustic, I think I want to leave it as rustic as it is, meaning I don't want to put too much color in here, if any at all. So I do have some gray stain that I plan on doing this entire piece. I will do some brown stain here for the doorway. I'll put some black in the windows so that gives us a pop of contrast. And then I'm going to do this probably a lighter brown color over here. And then I'll do this, I have some mahogany, which will give it a reddish tone, which I think will make this jump out, give us some nice depth to this whole piece. So let me go ahead and get this thing sanded, and then we'll go into our staining. All right, so we're sanded, cleaned off, everything's good. I think it's smooth enough. I took some 150 grit sandpaper and put on this part right here, just to get it nice and smooth. All right, I'm going to try this red mahogany first, down in here. I've got to be careful. I'm doing a lot of splatter, and I don't want a lot of splatter. So there's our dark. I think that may be a little too dark for me, but not much I can do about that now. I will wipe it down. Well, maybe it's going to dry a little lighter. Maybe we'll be okay. Okay, so we have the honey oak, and what I want to do is I want to get it in this door, just like so. Just very carefully get that right down in the door. Wipe that off a little bit. Now I want to get it also right here on this background area. Try to keep it off of the roof as much as I can. I suppose I could tape this, but I'm not going for perfection. As any of you that watch my stuff, I prefer this rustic look, and perfection really doesn't fit the rustic look. And it's okay now if I get some of this up on here. I'm fine with that. So let's go ahead and we'll get this around the rest of the church. Now there's a little bit back behind here, so I'm going to go ahead and sweep down in here to pick that up. We do have the edges. I'm going to go ahead and do those and get that right up to there. Beautiful. I'm going to wipe off this brush because I'm not going to go to a different brush for this. I'm going to go ahead and wipe that down. And we can see that it is a little bit lighter, just like so. All right. Now, I'm going to put the lid on this because I know if I don't, we're putting it on the ground and spilling it everywhere. Okay, last but not least, we're going to go ahead and do this entire church. And that's going to be with the weathered gray. So we can see here's the gray. So we're going to go ahead and put this on. And I do need to be careful with this because I don't want it, because this may stain down on the background. So I do want to be kind of careful. I'm getting it there. See, I'm spreading it all over the place. All right, I found this brush that's really crap, so I don't care if I lose it by doing this, but I'm getting some dark ebony stain, and I'm going to put right in all of the windows so that we have some really super nice contrast in here, like so. Whoop. All right, so now let's see, since I've done that, let's go ahead and put some black right in there like so, and let's see what happens. Let me give this a shot. Not sure I'm liking that. All right, I'll take that, but I have more. I have one more thing I'm going to do. Okay, here we go. I'm going to try adding some Danish oil here, dark walnut. And let's see what that will do to this. And this should wipe off a lot easier than what the dark stain that I did put on there, what it did. So let's see how this goes. So there's that. I do like that a lot better than where I was. I think what I need to do though is come in with some, just a little bit of paint now. And I said I wasn't going to do it, but I want to make sure that I get it so that you can see the building. The dark walnut, I love what it did here. I love how it pulled out the stonework, went down into the crevices, and it really made them pop. But I think what needs to happen now is I need to do a little bit of dry brush on here with some white or gray, and maybe a little bit of dry brush of some green so that we know what this is. And I'll leave the background sky where it stands. So be right back with some paint. All right, so I think the first thing I'm going to do, maybe a little bit of the green. Okay. It has a little bit of a green cast to it. I don't want much. I really do not want much here. So now let's go with a little bit of gray so I can get some dry brush of the gray on the bricks. And this one's just about empty, but that's all right. We're getting there. I'm very, very happy. I said I wasn't going to paint it, but it needed it, unfortunately, or fortunately. Depends on how you want to look at it. I had a vision in my head of just stained pieces, but one thing that I have realized is when you're using this reclaimed lumber like this is old fencing. And if you don't have it sanded perfectly smooth, your stain is going to be way darker than you would on a piece of hardwood or even a very nicely well sanded piece of pine. The stain doesn't take very well to it. And you can see that. You can see down in here, there was some more sanding. There's a little bit of glue coming out here. That's causing this lighter area through here. This was sanded nice here, but in here, this wasn't sanded down smooth. So it is what it is. But I like the way it turned out this way, so I'm happy with this. So I'm going to go ahead and put a polyurethane finish on it, and I'll show you that. Okay, another one done. This one is had some carving on it. We did the stonework that you saw. It is just scrap wood, I just layered it together. It's thick. It can stand by itself on a shelf, which is kind of cool. I am going to go ahead and put a hanger on the back and sign it, of course. So again, thank you all for taking the time to watch this. I hope you hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell, whatever it is they tell you to do. It'd be great. If you don't, hey, as long as you watch it and enjoyed it and learned something and maybe give it a shot. Thank you so much. Have a great day and go out and carve.